What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, as you're aware, not that long ago, I did a couple of videos regarding Queen Elizabeth. It was trying to make a point that we need to be truthful about the information that we're sharing with individuals. It just looks hokey pokey when we keep saying that certain individuals have been sent to Get Moe, have been through tribunals, and are now clones. And then I think it's interesting that people will use other people's videos regurgitating the same crap as their proof that I'm wrong. So we'll cover a couple things real quick in regards to tribunals because I went and got clarification. Anyways, this is Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. This is his wife. Well, she's been yanked into this January 6th committee. They're doing their best to try to smear as many people as possible. We got midterms coming up and more stuff magically gets leaked, of course. So let's try to put this all in a neat little package and see if we can get some clarification and a much better understanding when it comes to these tribunals and Get Moe. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. You guys know right now is the best time to buy the shine. Go buy your gold and silver over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Now, there's a lot of things going on in the news right now. Now, the last thing we need is fake or misleading news out there because, in my opinion, it discredits the truth. There are all kinds of people out there talking about these subjects, and people ask me my opinion about them all the time. And my thing is, look, everybody creates their own content. It's up to you to decide who is full of crap and who isn't. People are asking me about Wano Savin. If you like the guy, then, that's your barbecue. There's a couple of things he was doing that made me just question him altogether. Like, for some reason, I don't understand why he's doing videos with his back to the camera, or he just shows you his boots. I was just guessing that maybe he just wanted to look like a man of mystery, and maybe that he felt like this gave him credibility because he's being so secretive. To me, it just looked like a stage show, and I wasn't interested at all. But if you dig hard enough, it's not hard to find out who this guy is. We know there in Mike Jaco's show, he accidentally showed himself. That's not the first time. He's done it before. This is his real name. It's Wayne Willett. And if you go dig him up, you can find all kinds of crap about him. Nothing that I want to bring up. Some personal stuff. That's his business, not everybody else's. You can find his LinkedIn page under his name, Wayne. His kid's picture used to be up there, but for some reason he took it down, and I think with good reason. And Juan has made public appearances. I turned the volume off, but here's Juan talking at a gathering. So the whole thing about turning your back to the camera or just showing your feet, I just thought it was quirky, and so it's hard for me to pay attention to what he was saying. Is he a credible guy? He might be. I don't know. He might be one of those wackadoodles that are out there. But anyways, that's him right there, and why he hides himself in his videos, I don't know, you guys. That's what he does for whatever reason. I don't know. That's his business. This movement's all about getting the truth out there, making sure people are informed about what's going on, then us deciding as citizens of this country what direction they're trying to push us in and whether or not we should agree with it. So with all this good news out there, it gets polluted with all this other crap that's being said out there as well. And that's what I often point out. I get it. The queen doesn't look like the queen. That's because she's 900 years old. But because people have it in their mind that these people are clones or they're body doubles, they're not going to see it any other way. Could the queen be a double? Well, yeah, sure it could be. Could they have put some fake queen up there? Why everything plays out? Yeah, that's always possible, you guys. I don't see it that way, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, Ginny Thomas put out some tweets. And of course, we have an individual running wild with these tweets. And so I do want to respond to it. There is some information in there that's truth mixed in with all the other BS. So in the last video I did about the Queen, someone came down there and says, tell me why is Get Moe still open and why did they build a new courthouse? Next time, put 2 and 2 together. You won't look so dumb. Yeah, okay. You could tell this person really done their research. So why is there an expansion on Get Moe? I know we were told all these people are going to be arrested, all these entertainers and these people in Hollywood and these people that are politicians. Isn't that what we were told? No, that's not why it was expanded. Get Moe sees new construction a decade after prisoners' orders shut down. So why did Trump want to expand it? Why did he put in new courthouses? You see, the new prisoners that Trump wants to put in here were ISIS members. Yeah, you guys forgot about that. Hello, ISIS. We have like 5 or 6 makeshift prisons scattered in other countries holding thousands of ISIS members. Now, Trump tried to send them back to their countries of origin, but their countries don't want them. And Trump did not want them either. But there was a few hundred of them that he absolutely wanted over here in Get Moe. And those were the people who were behind the whole ISIS movement. So, why did they put a new courthouse in there? Why did they expand the prison? To put more prisoners in there. Because the prison was already crowded with all those members of Al Qaeda. But once Bush and then Obama released a big chunk of them, just in time for them to go join the Taliban again and become the new government. But anyways, yeah, the construction was to put more terrorist people in there. It has nothing to do with politicians or whatever. Trump administration signals ISIS foreign fighters could be sent to Guantanamo Bay. So we know earlier this year, there was a prison full of ISIS fighters that was attacked by about 100 ISIS militia members trying to free up the other ISIS fighters. It says U.S. says allied forces in Syria have retaken the prison after ISIS attack. So this is what Trump was talking about. They have these makeshift prisons, but some of these countries that these prisons are in are ISIS sympathizers. You can't really trust them to hold the ISIS members. Something always comes up, something always happens, and these prisoners escape. Trump wasn't interested in bringing all the prisoners over here, but there were a few hundred of them that he wanted to bring over here to be watched over by our own people. So do yourself a favor there, and you make sure you put 2 and 2 together. I love when people do that. Put 2 and 2 together. All you have to do is a little research and just apply a little common sense. Get Moe was expanded for the whole other wave of terrorists that were supposed to come over. Now, I did want to clarify, and I did speak to my friend. I said, hey, let me ask you something. What is the story on whether or not U.S. citizens can be tried in Get Moe during tribunals? So this has been a sticky point in Washington now since the 9/11 attack. The Constitution protects American citizens who are not enlisted from any type of military tribunal. American citizens are to go through the normal court system. What happened was during the 9/11 attack, we found out people who were fighting on the side of Al Qaeda, some of these people were Americans, and then Bush changed it on his own. He said if you're labeled an enemy combatant and you're an American citizen, you no longer have any rights as an American citizen, therefore you could be tried in a military tribunal. He made the change. There have been a couple of cases that went up before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court deflected. They really didn't want to deal with it because at the time, the sentiment towards terrorist people was really bad, and the last thing the judge wanted to do, just like them not getting involved with the whole November 2020 thing, instead of doing their damn jobs, they deflect. 2 cases went up before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court kicked both cases back down. And then before they came back to the Supreme Court, the 2 men were involved were let go. So the Supreme Court never actually had a rule on whether or not you can label somebody an enemy combatant and American citizens can be tried in a military tribunal. But people can make arguments back and forth all day long. The truth of the matter is, the Constitution protects the citizens from being tried by military tribunals. And the Supreme Court has not and will not rule on that at the moment. As for now, no American citizens have been sent to Get Moe for military tribunals. But I do understand the confusion because this was sent to me as the proof that this is happening. So let's just go through this together carefully, but listen to how the information is being shared and, in my opinion, purposely used to mislead. Now, this is Santa Surfing. I used to be a big fan of Santa Surfing until we did an interview together. And a couple of things she said that caught my attention just really changed my opinion on her. But look, Santa does her own thing. She's got her own following. People love her. More power to her. But the only reason why I'm responding to this video is because it's been brought to my attention multiple times as proof that American citizens are being tried in military tribunals. Let's take a listen.
Oh boy, guys, this is the news we've all been waiting for, but
The one thing about Santa surfing, she surely is enthusiastic.
I'm going to start with what President Trump said at his State of the Union speech, which was held at CPAC in Florida 4 weeks ago. Now, it was 4 weeks ago yesterday, so I'm just going to go ahead and play this because he had his rally, and this is not a podcast on his rally. This is a podcast on some breaking news that nobody was able to get out until today. Huge news. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip for you. Please listen.
So she's going to give you some breaking news. Let's listen.
Listen very carefully to the particular entities and types of industries that he targeted.
It was bad for the election. It was bad for our country in their mind, but they probably knew talking about it would have been good. We can never really bring our country back unless we get an honest media.
That, in my opinion, is the biggest issue we have in this country. Until we do something about the media, finding a way to legally force them to be truthful, this country can never be fixed.
Because they're like the policing agent, and they refuse to air scandal. They refuse to air it.
It's not that they refuse to air scandal. They only report scandal against one political side, and they fabricate scandals against another.
And it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks as one of the worst scandals ever. I call it the crime of the century, ballot harvesting, as it gets released, and it's all on tape. It's all on tape. Even the pictures are taken of the people stuffing the ballot boxes, because without the pictures, they don't get paid. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of votes in each swing state.
The truth is getting out. It is being reported, but it is not being covered, obviously, by mainstream media. I showed you those pictures of the different headlines. They mostly come off Epoch Times, who does a great job of covering all the news that people should hear about.
So when I was on Twitter, guys, there was an account, Smith, that she and I were going back and forth like we were getting ecstatic excited. And also Tyra was on Twitter at that time too. And we were all getting very excited about the 3 to 4 weeks, right? 3 to 4 weeks. You know, our president, he never ever lets us down, even down to the day. Well, check out what
Here we go. Pay attention.
news broke today. Now, this news comes from Business Insider, and look at the date. March 25th, 2022. These almost the day. 4th week was yesterday. So when President Trump was talking about 3 to 4 weeks, he really meant 3 to 4 weeks.
He wasn't talking about this story. He was talking about people are going to start reporting about all the issues that happen with ballot harvesting. And it's been coming out. I showed you headlines again. But let's pay attention.
Message exchange between Clarence Thomas's Mark Meadows that the Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, oh my gosh, will be living in barges off Get Moe to face tribunals for sedition.
There we go. They brought this video to my attention as their proof that indeed American citizens are being sent to Get Moe for military tribunals.
Now, they talked about the fake news, the big tech, right? Now, I'll share the clip in a minute. This right here, they're talking about, this is, again, Business Insider. Jenny Thomas pushed a QAnon adjacent conspiracy theory in text. We don't have any conspiracy theories now, guys. We have truth. So what are they going to call that, right? Then it says Thomas, again, this is Jenny Thomas, claimed that ballot fraud co-conspirators were on barges at Guantanamo Bay and will be tried for sedition. And then Thomas shared several QAnon-related theories and text obtained by the Washington Post. Okay, so whatever. It's QAnon. Q clearance, right? That's a military term, right? It's a military outfit, guys. So now let me go ahead and play the Fox News clip that was kind of hidden, and it was just now exposed today.
So Santa Surfing's claiming that a Fox News clip was hidden. They are part of cable news. So I don't know how this would have been hidden. That's the first thing that caught my attention. So let's pay attention to apparently a broadcast that was hidden from the public.
Theories. Watermark ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation. And Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake stream media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Get Moe to face military tribunals for sedition.
Oh my gosh. Watermark ballots in 12 states have been part of a huge military Trump.
So now here goes Sandra Surfing doing what she does best. She's going to try to make it look like this news is being announced. If you're paying attention, what they are reporting is Virginia Thomas, Jeannie Thomas's text. That's what they're reporting. But she's trying to play it off as if this is actually being announced as legitimate news. It's not. All they're reading and repeating is what was on the text. Text that was done back in November 2020. So did you hear her? Oh my God, look at this is what's going on. No, that's not what's going on. That's just what Jenny said in her text.
Trump and military white hat sting operation. So remember, President Trump, he had mentioned that they have it all on tape, and he was thinking truth to vote. Did you know truth to vote?
See what she's saying? Hey, Trump said during his speech at CPAC for 2022 that they have it all on tape. See how she's trying to link this particular reporting of Jeannie Thompson's text from Fox News as if it actually is happening at the moment to what Trump said at CPAC. This is the type of thing I'm talking about. Going out of your way to mislead people. What Fox News is reporting is what Jeannie said back in November 2020. They're not saying that this is currently happening.
Vote has 2 million plus minutes of all of the fraudsters, the ballot harvesters, all the pictures, all of that information, guys. The Biden crime family, they were involved with the ballot fraud, ballot harvesting fraud. Remember when President Trump said in that clip earlier in this podcast, when he said it's the huge scandal of the century. This is the biggest crime. Why? Because if there is election fraud involved in order to install, let's say, a particular person as president, what happens to the entire country? We never had our rights, exercised because our vote didn't matter. They were manipulating the machines. And they were making sure that they can install certain types of people in there as president. So it has a domino effect. But then it talks about the Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, which are elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake stream media reporters, are being arrested and detained. This is coming from...
See what she's saying? Is being arrested and detained. As if it's current news. It's not, you guys. Virginia Thomas text to Mark Meadows back in November 2020. She's trying to make it sound like Fox News is reporting that these people are being arrested now. It's not. They're just repeating the text.
The Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's wife, she would not, I emphasize this, reputation or damage the reputation of Clarence Thomas, guys. So she is...
I'm sure when she sent the text, she had no idea that some committee would be formed in an effort to try to smear and discredit Republicans and Trump supporters alike, as well as target the president. The people that are behind this agenda, they're willing to do whatever it takes. And if that means killing people, they'll do it. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, one of those attempts were Clarence Thomas. Like Judge Scalise, I don't believe he died the way that people said. I believe they were trying to make way for Hillary when she won to change the balance of the Supreme Court. They got rid of him. He was a pain in the butt. They were hoping that Ruth Bader Ginsburg would retire, giving Hillary 2 people at the time, and really tilt the courts in the favor of the people on the left. It didn't happen that way, obviously. But now the assumption is, look, Biden's in there. He's appointing a new woman right now. They get rid of Thomas. they turn around and they shift the balance once again in the courts. So yeah, that's not beyond them, and I do believe they did attempt to kill that guy.
Talking to Mark Meadows, who was President Trump's chief of staff. Now, the news has every control to report this or not to report this. Why are they reporting it now? Virginia Thomas again, this talking about the fraud.
The reason why they weren't reporting this earlier is because it's just coming out from the January 6th so-called committee. That's why they didn't talk about this before, because they weren't aware of this before. This is all new at this moment. That's why they're reporting it
Right now, and it's coming over the next days, all right? And will be, and they...
See how she's doing it? She's trying to make it sound like it's a current event. She's like, look at, and over the coming days, we'll be living on barges. She's trying to make it sound like this news is being reported as if people are about to get arrested and are about to be put on barges, sent to Get Moe for tribunals. That's what she's trying to do. Pass it off as if the media is saying that this is going to happen, instead of telling the truth and saying that, hey, these are text messages from Jeannie Thomas to Mark Meadows back in November of 2020. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about, that kind of crap right there. And people sent that to me as proof that people are now on barges. They were sent to Get Moe, and they're going through military tribunals. All you got to do is slow down, people. Slow down. Take a step back and pay attention to the details. So what she did is she took a speech from Trump that happened at CPAC, mixed it in with the news report that she said was hidden from the public, that people were currently being arrested for voter fraud and sent over to Get Moe on the barge for tribunals, where it clearly says Virginia Thomas texts to Meadows. All Fox News was doing was reading the text messages. They weren't saying that people were being arrested. They weren't saying that people were sent to Get Moe, and they weren't saying that anybody is going through military tribunals. So it's just like the point I was trying to make about these videos. How many times is this person going to go to court? How many times are they going to be executed? But there are people out there who do not believe that that's the real queen. You see Paul here saying, hey, thank you, Pimpy, for acknowledgement. In response, I'm not saying the Elizabeth we are currently seeing is a clone, but what I do believe is that we're seeing a body double. And there are body doubles out there. We know that. There are lookalikes, and we know there are body doubles. I just don't understand the reason for the use of them. Why wouldn't they just come out and tell us that the Queen has passed away and Charles is now in charge? Whenever somebody of royalty passed away before in the past, they didn't have to hide it. So I guess my question is, what would be the reason for hiding that from the public? Hey, the Queen has passed away. Prince Charles is now the king. I don't understand why they wouldn't just announce that. What would be the purpose of avoiding that announcement? He says, I followed you, Pimpy, since when you were on Charlie Ward's show and with Santa Surfing. There was a point where you had some personal problems that I hope worked out for you. Personal problems? We lose loved ones. It's part of life. You learn to deal with it and move on the best that you can. It says, I stopped watching all these crazy people a long time ago after they got dates wrong on multiple occasions. In fact, Charlie Ward said that there was no Biden inauguration. Again, wrong. I have seen videos of Tom Hanks and Hillary Clinton and almost everyone that was supposed to have been dead or under arrest. My sister in England knows someone who has to prepare the streets for a royal funeral. And he was told to prepare recently. Don't ask me what that means or if it really signifies, but definitely a good source. Queen Elizabeth has been really sick. She's had the coronavirus and she's not recovering as good as these people had hoped. So she's been actually sick since November. So they don't hide that. They tell people that, look, the Queen is struggling to recover from coronavirus is what we're told. Could they be preparing for her to kick over? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to. So, Tony, I appreciate you sharing this with me. But if they're telling this gentleman to prepare for a funeral, that means that she has not been to Get Moe. That means she has not had a tribunal. And that means she hasn't been executed. And that means that she hasn't got a clone. That just means that the Queen is very sick. And they might very well be preparing for her funeral. Good Lord, this woman's like 700 years old. I don't know how long lizards live, but, just kidding. Sue says, just checking in, Pimpy. Try to stay away from the chat because of all the trolls, but stopping by to say hi. Yeah, I hear you, sweetie. For me, I just think it's important to go out there and try to debunk a lot of this crap that's being said and try to make sure that the truth is getting out there, because it takes away from what it is we should be focused on. The Queen has a certain persona that she had maintained all her life that has never strayed. I don't believe age has changed her. In fact, age usually makes you more stubborn in your ways. While some people are stubborn, some people are softened. I mean, I've had people on both sides of my family, some a lot more stubborn when they got older, some a lot more softer. So each person, I guess, is just different with old age. This isn't a clone, but by the same token, this is not the Queen. And a lot of people have said that. This could be a body double. But again, Paul, my question is why? What would be the purpose of having a clone? Why wouldn't you just go ahead and make the announcement, hold the funeral, and let Charles take over? I live not too far from Balmoral Castle in Scotland, and the Crown are selling off a lot of their properties. I know this to be a fact because I know someone who lives in one of the houses, so there are definitely something going down. They also use body doubles for the royals. Yeah, again, they are people of importance. For them to have body doubles would not be surprising to me. But using body doubles to try to make it look like the Queen's still alive for all this time, it just, there's no sense in it. I don't understand the purpose of it. So maybe we should clarify that. What would be the benefit of lying about the death of Queen Elizabeth? What are people gaining by that? They never lied about funerals in the past that we're aware of. When somebody from the royal family passes away, they hold a fancy funeral, and the next in line carries on. So I don't understand what would be the purpose of having a body double. That doesn't make no sense. I want to see the Queen interact with one of her Dartmouth ponies. The horse would tell us if it's really her. Here's the thing, question everything. I don't know if there's any recent pictures with Queen Elizabeth near the horses, but I get what you're saying. If she was around the horses might respond a certain way. In the video, how do you know if it's not being renovated to become a museum or a changing of the guard, shall we say? It is a changing of the guard. During the renovation, they tell you that the renovations are taking place for Prince Charles to take over, because the Queen is too old and she is getting ready to pass. So they tell you that in there. But I hear what you're saying. No, it's a changing of the guard, all right. It's the Charles. Maybe just because you don't understand certain things doesn't mean they're not true. Who said I didn't understand them? I understand what's going on. I just don't agree with what's being told. So, by the way, Pimpy, I hope you haven't seen me as a troll, as I am not. I have been following you for 2 years now and have a great respect for your advice, research, level-headed and honest opinion. You stand by your words, and I have much respect for you in a world where information requires much dissemination. Big love, thanks. No, I don't take what people say on here personally, because you're going to have people that are trolls. But sometimes people, when they're making comments, they really feel in their convictions. And so they come across sometimes as attacking. They might be or might be not. But for me, it's just an opportunity to interact and just give my opinion. Let me give you another way to look at things. So I don't look at people as trolls. I do have trolls on here, but I just don't automatically say that everybody who doesn't agree with me is a troll. But I do appreciate all the kind words. And it is challenging. It is challenging a lot. I do appreciate when people leave comments and take the time to watch the videos. I get it, you guys. We are in confusing times. And there are people out there that are not helping the matters because they're purposely going out of their way to mislead people, just like I showed you on this recent video. To me, that's misleading. That's not being honest, and that's being sneaky. Anyways, that's it for now, you guys. Let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.